Just the dash right now in cycling. He started fourth. He's running sixth.
We'll go to Steve and then to Pete.
Steven Stump, frontstretch.com. I got a question for Kyle, then a question for both you guys. So, Kyle, you'd led over 700 laps at this track without a win heading into it. It's a 500 miles at Darlington, one of the majors. Does this feel sweeter than other wins, given the prestige and how close you guys were, especially starting from 18th, the lowest at Darlington since 2011?
I don't know. I mean, it feels really good, honestly, just to get a win and finally win at this track. Like you said, we've led lots of laps here. So, I mean, to lead lots of laps here, you have to be good, at a number of different races through the different years. But, yeah, this is just a track that I really enjoy, suits my style, and, just haven't won yet here. So, was good to do it today. I knew we were going to have a good car. We just didn't qualify as good as we had hoped, and honestly drove through the field way better than I thought that I would. And they did a really good job on the pit sequences to cycle us in front of people, and then from then on you kind of just try to manage your race. And Denny was really good too, so he was going to be hard to beat without his mishap, but once whatever happened to them happened, you kind of opened the door for a few more guys to possibly win, and we kept ourselves in the game enough to get it done. I got in the wall some point in the third stage, and then you kind of had to nurse it to the next pit stop, and then things just worked out. Your team executed when we needed to.
And then the second question for both of you guys is that this is now win number 299 for Hendrick. 300 is up next. How important would it be for you guys to be the ones to get that milestone?
Honestly, I mean, sure, I think all four of us would want to be the one to do it, but really, I think 300 is just a super big number. So I think for me, I'm going to be just as happy to see William, Chase, or Alex win number 300 for Rick as I would be for myself to win. I think which Rick has already stamped himself in this sport as the greatest car owner of all time, to reach another milestone like 300, it's just that takes a whole team throughout decades and decades. So number 300 as a whole means more than me winning it or any us individual person winning. So I hope one of us four can do it next week. And, I guess that means Rick will be at the track every week now until we win. So we'll look forward to having him there.
Yeah, well said by him. And I, I would just add that when you think about the Hendrick 300 wins, you think about the 90, however many from Jeff, and the 80-something from Jimmy, and all the people that, with Rick built our company and the history that it is. So I agree with him. Yes, we would love to have it just for the little bit of bragging rights in the moment, but then next will be 350 and 400 and all those things for Mr. H. So it's amazing to be a part of a company like this, and the leadership that Mr. Hendrick has to all of us and to the company is really special. So to get that for him would be pretty awesome.
All right, thank you.
Pete?
Hey, Pete Iacobelli with the Associated Press. For both of you, another company question. It could have been a little disappointing around the shop when Chase and Alex don't get into the playoffs, but yet, you guys come out here, you win, William finishes fourth. It's a strong start for, wherever you guys are going to wind up in this chase. That's got to say something about the resiliency and what the direction of this program is.
Yeah, no doubt, and all four teams are working really well together right now. And the one thing that I would add, because we were in this position last year, the 9 team is still very well in the playoffs for the owners, championship, which is a huge deal to Mr. H. I know that Chase and Allen are going to fight tooth and nail to make that happen, and I know they had a good day today. So there's a bit of I don't know, excitement around that, having 3 cars in. And Alex was well on his way to a top 10 or maybe even a top 5 finish tonight. Alex had a great race going, and he and Blake have been working really hard this year. So, the way we're all working together and the way Mr. H, just keeps it on the rails and keeps us going, it's a lot of fun.
Trent Larson with FrenchRice.com. Kind of going off of what you said about working well together with everybody. You mentioned coming back. He mentioned coming back from deep in the field to win this race, and William Byron also had a deep starting position and was able to come through the field and for a great position as well. How much information is actually shared between you guys now as a team? You know, with this being the playoffs and you guys also wanting to win it for yourselves, but you still have teammates doing it as well.
Yeah, we have so many meetings every week where the crew chiefs are together and we talk through, you know, setups and strategy. The drivers are together; they talk through, you know, car sensations and you know what expectations are for the next race, of, you know, how to execute the race or whatever it may be. And it's really the culture that Mr. H wanted to create. He wanted to create a culture where you know, we were very open and honest with each other, and we have some pretty private, you know, conversations as far as that goes. But it's the 4 teams together, you know, the 4 drivers, 4 crew chiefs, everybody working together. And I truly believe without that strength of all of us being together and working together, you know, we wouldn't be as competitive as what we are. It takes all of us to keep it going. So yeah, it's cool to be a part of.
Go next to Dustin.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. I have a question for both of you on that the situation at the last pit stop. And I want to ask for Kyle, your perspective is, what did you see with Reddick and then with Harvick going down pit road in that moment? I know there was a lot going on and you pulled off, but can you take me through it from your point of view? And Cliff, how much was that a game changer of, in essence, eliminating Harvick? And then it's just, you know, between you and the 45 and who can win off pit road.
For me, was Harvick leading right then? Did he just get to lead? Yeah, okay.
Reddick was first.
That's what I
and
thought.
Harvick was second. And Harvick was called to pit road, and then Reddick was told to come down, and he, I guess, said he missed it because of the late call, because they were trying to react to Harvick.
Yeah, so from my vantage point, you know, I was 4th, and yeah, I mean, Harvick was really good that run and was close to Reddick. And then, you know, we got the call. They called me into pit. And I seen, you know, Harvick and William both pull down. So I was just going to follow them. It looked like Reddick was just, you know, going to have to pit the next lap, you know, got caught late. But then as I was pulling down, you know, I saw, I think, Newman spinning. So I was like, I think I need to stay out. So I stayed out, and thankfully it worked out. I guess William was able to get back out before, you know, committing to pit road. But I'm guessing Harvick, you know, being so close, he probably didn't have any time to react to it, and yeah, it took him out. I mean, he would know more about what happened, but for me, yes, it was pivotal because I went from now 4th to 2nd in line, and then you have a good pit stop, you come out in the lead. There's 40 some laps left. Hopefully you can lead the rest of the race, and that's what happened. So yeah, it worked out for us.
Yep, pivotal, like you said. I mean, if we're being honest with ourselves, I think there was 4 or 5 cars that had they gotten the lead, you know, it's going to be hard to pass. Like, I think if we'd gotten in front of Denny, it would have been really hard for him to pass us. Harvick gets the lead. I don't think anybody passes him. I think the top 4 or 5 were very, very equal together, you know, just in the way the track position was kind of staging itself. So to your point, to have one less of those cars was nice. Obviously, hate the misfortune for those guys. Always enjoy racing with Rodney and Kevin, but that was a big deal because it set us up to be second coming down pit road, have a good pit stop, come out with a lead, you know, and then there's still a couple of good cars behind us, just not quite as many.
Go to Bob and then to Matt.
Bob Parker, Fox Sports. Well, for either of you, is there anything that should the rule be tweaked, or is there anything that should, you know, because it seemed like I guess Harvick has the option to just drive down pit road without pitting, but I'm curious if there's anything else that should be done in that situation, or you gotta have a line and there's gotta be a rule, and sometimes you're just gonna get bit. I
mean, I think we've seen it play out so many times in just these you know, these really intense moments over time in cup racing. I mean, I feel like I remember a handful of years ago, Kyle Busch had something like that happen. I feel like it's happened to Carl Edwards before. It's really, really tough. And we talked about it before the race, talked about it a lot with my engineers, and it's one of those things that if you're committed, you're committed. We know what the rule is, and unfortunately, if you elect to pit, then it is a penalty. I don't have a great opinion other than we just know what it is.
Matt Weaver, Sports Not for Kyle. What stands out more to you in this moment, the fact that you've knocked another kind of crown jewel off the Southern 500, or the fact that you know that you advance in the playoffs and you've got another chance to win a championship again?
Well, I mean, had I not won anyways, I feel like we would have a chance to win the championship. But I mean, really, honestly, I'm happy to win at Crown Jewel, a place that we've been close to winning at, a place that we both have wanted to win at for a very long time, and then just to start the playoffs off good. I would have been happy just to get a good solid race in. So to win, it feels obviously better, and I hope that we can just put multiple weeks together like we did today. Not necessarily win. I know we'll be capable of winning every race in the playoffs, but really I just want to put together solid races from start to finish, get stage points, get some stage wins would be great, and then, get some good finishes at the end of it. So, yeah, we were able to do that today, and it's been a long time since we put a full race together. So, yeah, I just want to build on that.
On the Crown Jewel front, like, is this one that you're kind of aware of that has kind of eluded you and that you kind of circle and say, hey, I don't have Darlington or the 500 yet, and I want that one?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this race all these Crown Jewels only come around once a year. So, there's been lots of times where I've left here, bummed out and sad that, I had a good shot to win and it just didn't work out. So I felt like I was going to have that feeling again today, but things were able to work out and, get a really big win. I mean, and this is in the top 3 or 4, for the races, Crown Jewel prestigious races of our season. So, I think the only 2 I don't have would be the 500 and, maybe the Brickyard 400 if it comes back to the oval. So, you always want to win the big ones, but really just winning a race, it feels good.
Okay, we're going to wrap with Jerry.
Jerry Jordan, KickingTheTires.net. Cliff says you guys feel like y'all are behind a little bit on points, but we were talking on Thursday. You wanted to focus on each race, and does this give you a little bit of a relief though to have the couple weeks to focus completely on points and not have to worry about advancing, so to speak?
No, I mean not. I don't really feel any differently as far as that goes. After win, in 2021, we were winning. We won a race in each round. Maybe not the first race of every round, but still, when you put together good races, the points are going to take care of themselves and you're going to advance. So it doesn't take any pressure off. It doesn't take any focus away. It does, to me anyways, it doesn't give me a different goal. I still just want to go and run a good race from start to finish for 9 more weeks. So my mindset doesn't change at all. Sure, it's great to be locked in if you do have a mishap, but I don't plan on having a mishap.
And also tonight, you got into the wall. A lot of people got into the wall. How hard was it to control the cars? I mean, this track is known for that, but you bounced off of it pretty hard a couple of times.
Yeah, no, I mean, the good thing with this car is that you can graze it some. Obviously, when you slap the wall, that's when things bend. I probably grazed the wall at least 20 times tonight or more, all in 3 and 4. I got it a little bit into 1 once, but really there was only 2 times where I thought that maybe it did some damage there. The first time was there late in the or middle of the 3rd stage. I just didn't get a clean enough downshift, and it kind of hung into neutral between 4th and 5th and stayed there for quite a while, and then it finally dropped into 5th as I was like close to the center of the corner and went to 4th, and then I was just lower off of the wall. And when you're lower, I watch broadcasts all the time, and people are like, just give it some room, just get off. You don't have to run right next. Well, you have a lot less grip when you don't run right next to the wall. So I was a little bit off the wall because I had made the mistake on entry, and then by the time I got to 4th, it was already sliding, and then I slapped the wall, and then that's when I lost a bunch of time. So I'm sure it's bent a little bit, but thankfully not broke, and we were able to finish and still get a win.
Well, gentlemen, congratulations on winning the 74th Cookout Southern 500, and we'll see you next week in Kansas.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.